Welcome to the Merton Heritage Alphabet, an A to Z of our borough's colourful past. Our next letter H is for the Holborn Industrial Schools. Before 1834, care for the poor in Britain was largely the responsibility of the church. Poor relief was provided by parish vestries but varied greatly depending on the size, population and rateable income of individual parishes. A government act then saw parishes grouped into poor law unions, responsible for the management of poor relief in their area through a local board of guardians. The Holborn Union ran the vast Holborn Union workhouse, built in 1885 off Weston Road in Mitcham. A workhouse was an institution where those unable to support themselves financially were offered accommodation and employment. By the 19th century, workhouses were often also the last refuge for the elderly, infirm and the sick, who were often unable to pay for their own medical care. The Holborn Union workhouse held 1,000 poor men and women in separate 3-storey blocks. The complex also included a dining hall and kitchen, wash houses, workrooms, airing grounds, offices and stores. There was also an infirmary and a mortuary. By the standards of the day, the workhouse inmates were relatively well cared for, and a matron was also employed to tend to their medical needs. However, families were still housed separately and there was little opportunity for them to meet up. Children were housed in the nearby Holborn Industrial School, built in 1856 near Eagle House on London Road in Mitcham. This E-shaped building had one wing for boys, one for girls, and a central section housing the under sevens. There was also a nursery for babies. The children were given industrial training to equip them for work. Boys were trained in skills such as bakery, carpentry and furniture restoration, gardening, tailoring, shoe repairing and engineering. Girls were taught sewing, dressmaking, cooking and cleaning. Many were trained for work as domestic servants. The school held 400 boys, girls and mixed infants. They were often seen taking walks and marching to the local church. The girls were dressed in smock dresses and cloaks, whilst the boys wore a uniform of corduroys and a peaked cap. The children were allowed some entertainments in the recreation block, although boys and girls were not allowed to meet. There was dancing, singing, sports and occasional excursions. The school also had a band. Organised with military precision, this performed at village events and celebrations. The band was eventually equipped with uniforms and instruments provided by Joseph Ely, founder of the famous Wimbledon department store. During the First World War, the workhouse complex became a military hospital for convalescent troops. In 1917, it also held refugees from the Russian Revolution. The school closed during the interwar era and the building was demolished in the 1930s to make way for the shops and flats of Monarch Parade. The only surviving portion is the building next to Eagle House. This was later used as London Road Boys' School and is now an Islamic school. The Holborn Union workhouse was mothballed after World War I, then converted for industrial use in the 1920s. The building was demolished in 1980 and an Asda supermarket now stands on part of the site. If you would like to know more about Merton's heritage, visit our Merton Memories website at www.merton.gov.uk/memories